Hey guys, and welcome to another edition of the Most Motion Show. In this episode, we're going to answer John's question, and he wants to know how his lower back pain and his knee instability is connected. So he's basically saying that when he goes downstairs, his knee gives way to the outside, and he also gets lower back pain on the same side. Now, the connecting thing between these two things is the adductors. I'm going to show you how that's happening, and then I'm going to explain a little bit. I'm going to show you a little movement that you can do to help with this issue. So let's start with the knee. Now, the adductors attach just below the knee in here. Okay, so sometimes if you press kind of just about an inch below the knee, you can feel something quite sore. It's a shared insertion between the adductors, the quads and the hamstrings, and when that goes very tight, the adductors get very short. And the resulting thing for the knee is, if this is your thigh bone and this is your lower leg bone, okay, the gap between your knee and the balance in the space there should be equal, like an equal sign. Okay, but when the adductors get tight, what happens is that the gap on the inside of the knee starts to close, okay? And that means that when you're moving around, the only place that your cartilage can go to is more towards the outside, okay? Sometimes your bones will shift as well. It just depends on the issues that you're having with your knee, okay? So, John says he feels like his knee is giving way to the outside, so it's quite likely that the adductors and a lot of other things around the knee joint itself are closing that gap on one side. The space is available on the outside, and that's why the bones or the cartilage or both are shifting towards that side, and it feels like it's giving way, okay? And because it's happening when you go down the stairs, your knee is most vulnerable in the bent position. And that's also when your adductors are at their tightest, okay? Now, your back pain is related to your adductors because they are part of your hip flexors as well, okay? So there's some adductors that go very close to the groin in here, and there's some that shoot down the inside of your leg, okay? Now, when these get tight, what happens if this is your pelvis, if this is the back, and this is the front, okay? When your adductors get tight, let's say it's on the same side, so they pull your pelvis round like this. Okay, now you can see at the back, my thumbs, they're separating. So as my pelvis comes tight in the front, or the adductors come tight in the front, then the lower back gets stretched, and that's why you can feel pain in your lower back, as well as these issues with your knee. Okay, so I'm going to show you a quick exercise now that's going to help you to deal with that, whether you have pain, knee pain, back pain, whatever, or if you just do a lot of sitting, cycling, that kind of thing. Adductors play a massive role in a lot of injuries. So if we want to get rid of this tightness, then there's things that we can do that are very, very quick and very, very simple. Okay, so I'm going to use the wall. And a lot of you will have seen this stretch before as an adductor. You can have this leg out to the side as well if you like. But for this particular purpose, I want to focus on one leg at a time. Okay, so with this stretch in my leg and my foot in a natural straight position, I can feel it a little bit in my adductors, but what I want to do is really put them on a stretch, okay? So all I'm going to do is put my foot flat against the wall. So now I have a stretch through here. I'm also stretching the calf up into my the insertion here with the shared attachment, and that means that I'm putting the adductors on more of a stretch as well. Now, if I also want to get my hip flexors at the same time, because bodies are very clever, they can do many things at once, all I need to do is add a little rotation, and now I can feel it up into here as well, okay? So from here, I'm just going to put my hand on my hip so you can see what's happening, and then I am just going to move backwards and forwards, comfortably uncomfortable as a maximum. This should not be hurting at all, okay? And because we're dealing with where the tightness is and the cause of the problem, we shouldn't be irritating the issue itself either, okay? So just very slow, nice and gentle. We are just moving around and asking your brain to investigate where it can possibly move to and loosen off this tightness. Okay, so we're going to move in lots of different directions. so my hips can go side to side, for example. And as I pull my hip back, I'm lengthening the distance between my hip socket and my leg bone head, and then just moving it closer as well. So I'm creating ligament change, I'm creating tendon change, and I'm also creating muscle change just by moving, okay? So then I can move in lots of different directions here. We can go around in circles, or I can even rotate further. If I want to really lengthen those proximal, those closest adductors, then I can just roll my leg forwards as long as my foot stays stuck to the wall, okay? If my foot starts to roll with me, then my adductors aren't actually lengthening at all. But with my foot staying planted on the wall, as I roll my hip, then my adductors are being influenced and lengthening, okay? So, John, I hope that answers your question. If you have any other questions, then please do get them to me. You can comment on this post. You can join in the Smart Folks Facebook group, which is smart with 2 T's and then folks.com. And you can email me, Sarah@mostmotion as well. So that's Sarah@mostmotion.com, sorry. Get those questions to me, and next time we could be answering your question on the show. If you want more hip flexor, more adductors, more low back pain videos to follow, then just follow the link in the description to your free mostmotion account, and there's loads of videos in there that will help. And if you're not very sure, just ask which ones you think I think would be more suitable for you, and I'll let you know which order to do them in. Okay, so thanks for your question, John. I hope that helps, and thanks guys for watching. See you next time.